When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts.
Well, come on over. We got us a fight going on that's a good bit of fun.
Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy. Drake has a rich baby daddy.
So while everyone's caught up arguing about who's winning between Kendrick and Drake, Katt Williams comes in with a dose of reality. He's saying it's not just about the rappers themselves, but the big shots pulling the strings behind the scenes. Specifically, he's pointing fingers at Universal Music CEO Lucian Grainge. Kanye West even stirred the pot by suggesting Lucian's like Drake's sugar daddy. But the truth is, Lucian's got some sweet deals with all these artists. While fans are busy taking sides, it's really the bigwigs like Lucian who are making bank. Just check the facts. Universal Music owns basically all your favorite rappers. Kendrick signed a major deal with them back in October 2020, and even Kanye was with them until he got dropped recently after they accused him of anti-Semitism. And then there's Drake, who's rumored to be Lucian's favorite. Word on the street is Drake gets some special treatment because of his background.
Let's talk about you being Jewish real quick.
Let's do that.
Because a lot of people think that, like, Asher's Jewish.
Right.
He's not. His dad's Jewish. He doesn't really identify. All loves to Jews, but he's not Jewish.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand...
But he wasn't there. He didn't read his portion, first of all.
You didn't have a bar mitzvah.
Come on. Are you serious?
You had a... Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Just tell... You don't understand how big you're about to be in the Jew world.
You don't understand how big
you
First of all, I live in an all-Jewish area, so...
Where is that?
Forest Hill.
Okay.
I went to a predominantly Jewish school growing up. I definitely had a bar mitzvah in an Italian restaurant, mind you. Mother's Jewish, and we have great Jewish dinners like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
First text message you ever sent me. Good Shabbos.
Yep, good Shabbos.
He kept it real.
Yep.
Have you gotten approached yet by like the Jewish media yet?
No, I haven't gotten approached by the Jewish media, but somebody today, who I won't mention, was like, how big you're gonna be.
So Drake has this super hush-hush deal with Universal. In 2021, word is he landed a massive contract with Universal Music Group worth an eye-popping $400 to $500 million, a figure never seen before in the industry. Now, here's where it gets interesting. With Drake being such a big deal, it's not far-fetched to think this deal wasn't just about cash. There's talk it might have included some ownership stakes, meaning Drake could have gained control over other artists' catalogs under the same corporate umbrella. And get this, there are rumors swirling that Drake might have been quietly trying to snatch up Kendrick's rights, which could be the real reason behind their feud. But hold on, the drama doesn't stop there. Kendrick recently dropped a diss track accusing Drake and his crew of some shady dealings, calling them S-traffickers and PDF files. And just before that, Kanye spilled some tea in an interview, mentioning Lucian Grainge and hinting that he's like Drake's rich baby daddy. And let's not forget, Lucian was dragged into a lawsuit against Diddy, with allegations that he funded Diddy's supposed trafficking operation.
Jewish music mogul and CEO of Universal Studios, Lucian Grainge, is being investigated on charges of allegedly aiding, abetting, and inducing P. Diddy to run a pedophile ex-trafficking ring and is 100% liable for the crime.
And get this, there's a rumor going around that Lucian signaled Drake to ease off on the beef once Kendrick dropped the trafficking bomb. That might explain why Drake's latest track, The Heart Part 6, is getting slammed from all sides. It's like he's purposely serving up a mediocre track to squash the drama. But here's where things take a dark turn. According to Katt Williams, if Kendrick goes off script and starts speaking out against Universal, it could spell disaster. Katt's been dropping hints in interviews, suggesting that artists who go against the big labels often meet tragic ends. And he's not stopping there. He's also claiming that whenever a rapper gets gunned down, someone up top is cashing in on their death. By the way, remember Michael Jackson and Prince? Both passed away after clashing with their labels. Michael even had his suspicions about Sony trying to snatch his catalog before he died.
I own half of Sony's publishing in
and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, you know.
So what's the scoop on this Kendrick Lamar and Drake feud? Is Katt Williams hinting that Lucian Grainge and Universal are the puppet masters behind the scenes?
So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Now, to give you some context on what's happening with Drake and Kendrick, their feud has been simmering for a while. It seems to have started back in 2013 with Kendrick's verse on Big Sean's track, Control. In that verse, Kendrick didn't mince words. He called out several rappers, including Drake and J. Cole. However, Kendrick later clarified that he wasn't dissing their skills or trying to stir up drama. Instead, he was simply emphasizing his determination to rise to the top of the game. So what might have sounded like shots fired was really just Kendrick's way of expressing his hunger for success.
I think the ones that really took it out of context was the people that we know want to grab an opportunity just off the fact of the hype of the record, rather than actually tuning in and listening and knowing how hungry I am. A lot of people think it's about talent. That's where they get it wrong. I'm saying I'm the most hungry in it. You get what I'm saying? I respect the legends in the game. I respect, you know what I'm saying, people that done it before me. You know, people that lost their lives over this. You know what I'm saying? So, because of what they laid down, I'm going to try to get I was harder, you know, and breathe it and live it. And that's the point of the whole verse, what I was trying to convey through that verse.
So, if you consider it, Kendrick's Control verse wasn't really intended as a diss. Many rappers received it positively, some even responding with their own songs. However, Drake took it to heart and reacted sensitively to it.
Control, the record, people still banging it, man. Where is Drake at with Control?
I'm probably like as done as like the rest of the world is with that record. Like I think it came and it went, you know what I mean? And not to discredit it, like it was a good moment, but at the end of the day, it's just like, it was like one of those sort of like fleeting like Twitter frenzies that like, it was cool for what it was, you know, and I'm just into making like, my thing is like, I like lasting power, you know, that's my thing. I want you to still be listening to this album in the summer or, you know, next year, where I want this to stay in your car, stay on your mind. It's like not even about the music, you know what I mean? It wasn't even about like the content of it. It just seemed to be about like, you know, all the and all the talking at the time, and now everybody's like over it. Nobody plays it. It's just like whatever.
Did that kind of, when you heard your name, did you feel like, man, like that was kind of disrespectful, or did you feel like, you know, our names were just kind of thrown in there and it was...
I feel like he made a decision, you know what I'm saying? And it was a decision to make, you know? He was like, man, I'm either going to go for this moment because I know it's going to be a big moment, or I'm going to like take heed to the fact that I have real relationships and I'm going to like not do that. Because like, you know, I'll be real, like I've thought of doing that before. You know, I thought like, man, it would be crazy if I just went off on everybody, but it's just kind of like, where does it really get me? Then what? Then every time I rap, people are going to expect me to be confrontational, and when I'm not, then it's not entertaining. You know what I mean? It's like, it kind of puts you in a box a bit. So
I don't think that put Kendrick in a box.
I don't know if I necessarily respect it. You know, we all make decisions. I'm sure he'll be good. He's talented as you know what I'm saying?
Since then, Drake and Kendrick have engaged in subtle digs and small jabs at each other in their songs. However, Kendrick escalated things on his 2022 album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, when he name-dropped Drake on the track Father Time, referencing Kanye's apparent decision to resolve his feud with Drake. Speaking of Kanye, he's now suggesting he was manipulated into ending the beef, but we can delve into that later. Returning to Kendrick and Drake, their long-standing tension reached a boiling point in March. Kendrick joined Future and Metro Boomin on their track Like That, responding to J. Cole's verse on Drake's First-Person Shooter, where Cole grouped himself, Drake, and Kendrick as the Big Three rappers. Kendrick didn't appreciate being lumped in with Drake and fired back on Like That, rapping F-sneak dissing First-Person Shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. F the Big Three. It's just Big Me. Kendrick also likened himself to Prince, highlighting that Prince outlived Michael Jackson and countered Drake's boast about being 1 hit away from surpassing Michael's achievements. When Like That gained traction, it seemed like every rapper wanted a piece of the action in dissing Drake. Initially, Drake claimed he was unfazed, telling a crowd in Florida that no one could rival him.
I got my head up high, my back straight, I'm 10
goes down in Florida or anywhere else I go, and I know that no matter what, it's not a nigga on this earth that can ever me in my life.
However, fans grew weary of Drake's motivational speeches and Instagram posts. They clamored for him to return to the studio and address Kendrick and other rappers who had dissed him. More drama ensued when Kanye West jumped on the remix of Like That and name-dropped Lucian Grainge, while taking additional shots at Drake. Kanye's lyrics included lines like, "Where's Lucian? Serve your master. You caught a little bag for your masters, didn't ya? Lifetime deal? I feel bad for them, y'all. So out of sight, out of mind, I can't even think of a Drake line." Yet, Kanye didn't stop there. During an interview on The Download, he was questioned about the fallout between him and Drake, especially following their apparent reconciliation for the Larry Hoover benefit concert in 2021. Kanye expressed regret, stating that had he known Drake would betray him, he wouldn't have considered teaming up with him. He then revisited the mention of Lucian Grainge, calling him Drake's rich baby daddy.
He's like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy, Drake has a rich baby daddy.
Now, before we delve into Lucian again, let's conclude this Kendrick versus Drake saga. A few weeks after Kendrick's shots at Drake on Like That with Future and Metro Boomin, Drake retaliated by releasing Push-Ups. In the track, Drake threw out some cheesy lines about Kendrick's height and his collaboration with Taylor Swift. He also attempted to hit Kendrick where it hurts by calling him out for reportedly having to split over 50% of his earnings to his former label, Top Dog Entertainment. Drake rapped, "Pull your contract, 'cause we gotta see the split. The way you do in splits, your pants might rip." Now, let's discuss Drake's contract. In 2022, rumors circulated that Drake had secured a massive deal with Universal Music Group, rumored to be close to $500 million. But that's not all. Supposedly, he also retained ownership of all his masters, though nothing has been officially confirmed. Drake dropped subtle hints in his track Major Distribution that his deal sets him apart, with lines like $500 million just for Aubrey, implying he enjoys a level of freedom and perks beyond his peers. With all these rappers taking shots at him, Drake insinuates they're merely chasing money to appease their labels while he sits comfortably with his lucrative deal. But why does Drake enjoy perks that his peers can only dream of? It can't be just about talent, right? Drake is one of the most commercially successful artists ever. But consider this. Iconic figures like Michael Jackson and Prince, who were far more massive than Drake, had to fight for ownership of their masters. So, what's Drake's secret sauce? Some theorize it has to do with his cultural background, shared with many influential record label owners and executives, including Lucian Grainge.
Somebody's like, you know how big you're gonna be, and it's like, this has never happened before. It's like every Jew is going to just like really embrace.
Well, here's the thing. There are Jews like my dad who like cling to like the biggest reaches.
Yeah.
Like, you know who's Jewish? Matt Damon. I'm like, no, he's not, Dad. He's definitely not Jewish. And like people reach, and the fact that you actually identify, that's gonna be like, that's gonna be big.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty.
You're doing something that I could never do.
You know how Twitter is always abuzz with theories? Well, lately, fans have been going wild with this topic. One person suggested, Drake is like an extension of the Jewish label executive, which is why he's always playing these industry games. Remember when he was threatening Kanye and sending him devil emojis? Another user commented, "This is Jewish billionaire Lucian Grainge, the man Drake loves to name drop, almost as if he's flaunting it in the faces of other rappers. His Jewish privilege might explain the 'we don't trust you' sentiment." And then someone else chimed in, "Drake is so close to people in the industry who could easily keep you off radio nationwide if he wanted to." The relationship with Lucian Grainge that Kanye mentioned is far from just stopping bags. Jewish control of hip-hop music on a global scale is perhaps the most insidious crime against Black America since redlining or civil rights. It has had a long-lasting impact on our culture, making a few Black folks wealthy but keeping us stagnant from a destructive perspective. But y'all aren't ready for that convo, though. However, there's a darker aspect to Drake's connection with Lucian Grainge. Both Lucian and Drake have been implicated in serious allegations regarding a rumored trafficking ring within the entertainment industry. Now let's backtrack to the recent lawsuit filed against Diddy by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. This lawsuit involves a lengthy list of defendants, and one name that stands out is Lucian Grainge. Throughout the lawsuit, Lil Rod repeatedly mentions Lucian's name and hints at a closer relationship between Lucian and Diddy, if you catch my drift. The lawsuit states, Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Grainge visiting Mr. Combs's home in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California. According to Mr. Jones, whenever Lucian visited Diddy at his homes, they would vanish for hours in Diddy's bedroom. The lawsuit further alleges that Lucian Grainge sponsored and attended several album listening parties, where S workers were present along with young women below the legal age. Lil Rod also claimed that during these parties, Lucian was aware, or should have been, that Diddy was serving spiked bottles of tequila and vodka. But there's more. Lil Rod revealed that during his time living and traveling with Diddy, he discovered hidden cameras in every room of Diddy's home. Here's the kicker. Lil Rod alleged that Diddy has recordings not only of Lucian Grainge, but also of other prominent figures, including celebrities, music label executives, politicians, and athletes. Lil Rod further claimed that Lucian, along with other defendants, aided, abetted, and induced Sean Combs's trafficking activities, describing him as one of the co-conspirators who knowingly benefited from coercive S trafficking. According to Lil Rod, Lucian and other defendants provided substantial amounts of cash, enabling Diddy's criminal activities. Regarding Drake, there have been long-standing rumors about his inappropriate behavior and potential grooming of young women. However, Kendrick recently intensified these allegations, suggesting that Drake is not only a creep, but a significant player in a purported trafficking operation within the music industry. In his savage diss track, Not Like Us, Kendrick alludes to Drake's album Certified Lover Boy, portraying Drake and his OVO crew as certified PDF files. Additionally, in another diss track titled Meet the Grams, Kendrick hints that Drake may face consequences similar to Diddy's in the future, with federal authorities potentially raiding his Toronto mansion. Kendrick suggests that some artists in the industry are involved in exploiting victims and leaking compromising videos to advance their agendas. Kendrick takes his diss to another level with the cover art of Not Like Us, featuring a bird's eye view of Drake's Toronto mansion, tagged similarly to a map of S offenders. Drake retaliated with The Heart Part 6, refuting the allegations of being involved in trafficking and addressing old rumors about his relationship with Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown, even though Kendrick never mentioned her in his tracks. In The Heart Part 6, Drake emphasizes his preference for grown women, explicitly mentioning his wife, Whitney, to counter any insinuations about his interest in teenagers. Earlier in the song, Drake dismisses the PDF allegations, asserting his fame would prevent him from being involved in such activities, stating, "I promise I'd have been arrested. I'm way too famous for this, as you just suggested." However, the logic behind Drake's statement is questionable. It typically takes a long time for the authorities to investigate and take action against high-profile individuals accused of wrongdoing, as seen in cases involving R. Kelly, Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and Jeffrey Epstein. So Drake's assertion that he would already be in prison if Kendrick's accusations were true doesn't hold up. Furthermore, The Heart Part 6 mainly consists of Drake defending himself, with minimal direct targeting of Kendrick. It seems repetitive, lacking fresh material to provoke a response. However, recent discussions surrounding Drake and Diddy's relationship with Lucian Grainge shed light on a possible motive for Drake's lukewarm response. There's speculation that Lucian, upon learning about alleged secret recordings, planned to replace Diddy with Drake in the trafficking scheme supposedly occurring in the industry. It's rumored that when Kendrick delved into the trafficking angle, Drake received advice from his alleged benefactor, Lucian, to end the feud and release a lukewarm track like The Heart Part 6. But here's where things take a twist. People are suggesting that Lucian and other influential figures behind the scenes initially instigated the beef between Drake and Kendrick to capitalize on it, pushing Drake even higher up the ladder. However, as soon as Kendrick began to touch on the trafficking allegations, especially with Lucian's name linked to the Diddy lawsuit, they abruptly halted their support. One fan remarked, "Executives who fear exposure for their crimes would go to any lengths to destroy you to maintain their lifestyles, and that's a dangerous battle. Kendrick gets all the props from me." Another person commented, "Lucian Grainge's name was in that Diddy suit too. He wasn't going to let that trafficking scandal keep unraveling. Their boss called game 3-2 Kendrick." Adding to the conversation, fans are now recalling something Katt Williams mentioned about rap beefs and the untimely deaths of rappers. They're cautioning Kendrick to tread carefully, as too many artists have met tragic ends after stirring up this hornet's nest and attempting to expose the big labels. Katt recently revisited the darker side of the music business in an interview, highlighting the deaths of young rappers and implying they're not random occurrences. According to Katt, whenever a rapper is killed over some petty drama, there's always someone higher up profiting from these tragedies.
When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew, don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up.
Katt also noted that there's a recurring pattern to these unfortunate events. When a rapper is sacrificed, the authorities often arrange for someone from the rapper's hometown to be the one to eliminate them, serving as a final blow and a tactic of humiliation.
So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
Wow.
I'm saying there's the good side and the bad side of these businesses.
As Katt explained, in the entertainment industry, appearances can be deceiving. Even when events seem coincidental or merely unfortunate, they are often carefully orchestrated, with someone at the top profiting from them.
So in all of these situations, there's a business involved and there's real money involved, and somebody's benefiting from this thing that looks like, oh, that just happened. Nah, no way.
Fans are now piecing together the puzzle, suggesting that there's more to the Kendrick versus Drake drama than meets the eye. Many believe that the behind-the-scenes bigwigs panicked when Kendrick brought up the trafficking allegations, prompting them to abruptly halt a beef they likely orchestrated for profit. One Reddit user commented, "Yeah, record labels definitely got involved because the Drake PDF was a bad look. Doesn't take an idiot to figure out why Dot's camp changed their tune so quickly. Drake probably got the last word in on the fake Molish, knowing Kendrick's camp can't respond." Another individual shared, "I was listening to The Heart Part 6 on Academic Stream as it dropped, and it felt so weird. Like I knew the beef was over by the middle of the track. It felt so calculated. Drake did exactly what he needed to give his fans and part of casual listeners the idea that he won with some nonsense plot twist, while at the same time making it clear he was waving a white flag for reasons bigger than the beef itself." What's your take on Katt Williams' theory that these rap beefs are orchestrated by the puppet masters behind the scenes? Do you think these supposed puppet masters, like Lucian Grainge, called off the beef because Kendrick hit too close to home with those trafficking allegations? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for the next story.